everybody, my name is Alex. You've been watching the ZX Show, Season 4, Episode 2. Season 4, man. I gotta stop. It's going too much. Now, everybody has been on watching the show. I know it's a little weird posting lately, but I'm just trying to figure out my job and everything, and also trying to figure out a good way to celebrate Thanksgiving with you guys, because we're going to have a Thanksgiving coming out soon. So by the time this episode drops, Thanksgiving should be around the corner, and so you'll be having a very special episode for Thanksgiving. And a special thanks to everybody that's been working on the show, every guest, and the crew in the back. Thank you guys for always being there. Thank you guys for doing the shows, taking a busy time out of your day to come and do the show for you. But thank you so much for everything you guys do, the support, your love, everyone that's on the comments, everyone that's liking my pages, everyone that's liking everything that we do. Just want to really appreciate you guys, and I'm very grateful for that. But without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to somebody that I always see them walking around the hallway. I've been knowing this guy for about a year, just knowing each other on the hallway. But the gentleman right here has a lot to say, but very knowledgeable. He's very knowledgeable. Every time I see him, I always feel like I could learn a few things from him if I walked out on an hour conversation with him. And without further ado, I want to introduce you to everybody in the world, to Freddie Love, my boy. What's up, Freddie?
What's going
Love?
on, man?
Hey.
What's up, Alex?
What's
Finally
going
on the podcast with you, man. I'm excited for this.
So, tell the world a little bit about yourself. People, things they may not know, or anything about Freddie Love they'd be interested in.
Well, my name is Freddie Love. I've had a passion for the media business since I was a kid. Like, everyone's always told me that I should be on the radio, that I got a perfect voice for radio. They know how much I know about sports, how much I know about music, movies, just pop culture in general. Right. They're like, you need to have a voice and be out there, man. So that's why and so many things happened in my life where I couldn't really follow that path. But now I was able to get settled, and I'm like, you know what? It's either now or never. So that's why I made the decision to come to this school last year.
And what happened to you that made that decision? Like, I need to go in this school.
You know what? To be honest with you, man, I had hit a low point in my life, and I said it's only one way out of this, and that's school. Because if I don't go to school, I'm just going to be trapped in this ever-turning circle for the rest of my life, and I don't want that. Because I'm almost 40, and I don't want to be like an old man and just be in a deadbeat job. I want to do something fun. I want to wake up and actually want to do something and be excited to do it. Because I've always been told, if you do something you love, you never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I want to do. So I said, you know what? Last year, I was living with my uncle. I was like, hey, man, it's now or never. You're either going to do it now or you're never going to do it. So I just made the decision to finally come. I was actually living way out in Will County when I started this school. Yeah. It took me like 3 hours to get here and 3 hours to get back. So that was a 6-hour commute and having to come here and go to work. So, but I made that sacrifice, and I said, I don't care. If I got to get up at 5 in the morning to come down here and do this grind, I'm going to do it, man.
And was it your uncle that was one that would push that battery in your back?
No, it was just me. It was just my thought process. I was just like, where am I at? Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you're staying with your uncle. Like, you're a grown man. Like, you need to have your own stuff. And I'm like, there's only one way out of this. And this is the only way I knew to get out of that circle. And I'm so happy I came to this school, because ever since I came to this school, I met so many amazing people. I met you, met Jennifer, and made so many connections. And I just feel like I'm doing way better now than I was last year.
What does it take for a person to be like, you know what, now I gotta change? Because a lot of times, a lot of guests that came on here, and a lot of things in my life too, where I'm like, you know what, I gotta have a change. What does it take for you to be like, you know what, I gotta have a change?
You know what, in my life, I've had a lot of different changes, because I used to be 355 pounds.
Wow.
And when I weighed 355 pounds, I said, I'm almost 400 pounds. I can't get to 400 pounds. And then if I get to 400, I'm gonna get to 500. If I get to 500, I'm gonna get to 600. So I said, no, I'm not gonna get a pound heavier. I made that decision to stop. And I've lost 150 pounds since then.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, and so
we was about to see on TLC.
Yeah, man. Yeah. People told me I should have followed that journey of my weight loss story, and I could have like made a book or something like that, or got a show on TLC.
So a lot of your life, I've noticed, is just like trial and error. This happened, but I gotta fix this. This happened, I gotta fix this. Tell me like the earliest convenience of that, like from your childhood or anything like that, where you were like, you know what, I gotta do this instead of this. Was there something you saw back then where it was like, you know what, I can't be like that person, or I can't be in this situation, I have to be this? What did it take for you to strive for greatness?
You know what, when I was a kid, I was always like the smartest kid in the class. Everybody would always come up to me and ask me like to help them with their work and stuff like that. And I remember my mom said it was one day I was sick and she wouldn't let me go to school. And I told her, Mom, those kids depend on me. Like, I have to go to school. So I knew even then, like, I had to, it was a bigger thing for me to do. And I couldn't just be stagnant. So I've always had that motivation inside of me. And I think I got a lot of that from my grandfather because he came from the South, came up here in the 50s. And you know how hard it is for Black people in the South to come up here and during those times. And so for him to make it with a wife and 8 children, I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. So he was always like my biggest mentor, biggest motivation for me.
And he's still alive with you today?
No, he passed 2010.
2010. Wow.
Yeah.
And what was your relationship with him? Like, what was some conversations that you remember? It was like, yeah, I gotta be like this guy.
Oh man, we was close. Like he was my man. It's like, you know, I grew up in this house. My whole life, I only ever knew we called him Big Daddy because he was the Big Daddy. He was the guy that you went to for. You know, answer. Anytime you had a question, you went to him, he gave you the answers for it. He gave you what he felt, what his honest thought. He was just a pure, authentic person. And I've always like, I want to be like that. If nothing else, I just want to be as authentic as my grandfather.
Wow. And so what sort of advice did you take from your grandfather? What's the one thing you remember, like he said to you, like that's embedded in you?
The one thing, well, he's always was a proponent of never giving up, never quitting. He hated quitters. No. And because he hated quitters, I hated quitters. Because whatever he did, I did. So if he hated quitters, I hated quitters. So I just always had it in my head, don't quit. If you do something, commit to it. Go with it all the way through. Don't ever stop.
Yeah, and I always see that in you. And I feel like I see, not even just in your actions, but in your voice.
Yeah.
I feel like the determination, the never to drive, to quit, has always been there in you, right?
Oh, it's always been there.
So now that you're heading to this future, like what do you hope for in the future? What do you hope for, like to strive for? Like what do you want to be in this world?
Well, my ultimate goal is to be an on-air personality, or since podcasts are the big thing now, to be a big podcaster, if I could be that. But I've always felt like my money is in my voice. So if I can get my voice out there and people can hear my voice, then I'll be good.
Have you ever picked up some chicks for your voice?
I wish I did, but if I was like a phone operator, then yeah, that'd probably help me. But you know, phone operators ain't really around anymore, so that's kind of an outdated concept.
Oh my God. So now you say you're what, 30?
38.
38. And from 38, what's the one important? Because I always tell people this, like, because me, I'm like 21, and I'm always interested in older people that are older than me. What's their like sort of advice at this point in their lives? What something you learned from the 38 years that you've been on this earth that is more crucial than anything else?
Don't waste time, because that's the one thing you can't get back.
Okay.
If you waste time, you're never gonna get it back. You know, this is your time. You know, Pink Floyd, one of my favorite bands, has a line in one of their songs. They said, 10 years have got behind. No, they said, one day you'll find 10 years have got behind you, and there's nowhere to run, nowhere to ride. So hearing that lyric and knowing that, like, you can't let time pass by, because time is crucial, and time is the one thing that you can't get back. So as long as you don't waste time and you keep doing what you're doing, just like you're young, you're 21, you're already on that trajectory. I wish I was on that trajectory when I was 21, but I wasn't. Like I said, I just wasted that time. I just was like, just trying to get jobs, just trying to get money, things that didn't even matter at that time. But now I see what the bigger picture is. Right. And the bigger picture is being happy. It's not all about money. It's not all about chasing whatever it is, chasing girls or whatever. It's what you want to do and what you want to be comfortable with in life.
What did it take you to realize that? Because I feel like a lot of times, especially in like the older generation, I think when it's not stubbornness, but when you are not, and I wouldn't even say force either, but like when you're in a corner, there's only so much things you can do. Like nowadays, like people my generation, they have this wide open space where they can be or do whatever they want. But in some cases, like in the older generation, I felt like there was just certain situations that they couldn't be as free as possible because of either kids, because of the environment they were in, or the fact that, you know, maybe like they fall into somebody else's footsteps. What did it take for you to realize, like, I need to like change, pivot? Like, what does it take for someone like that to like really realize that?
Well, I think it was last year when I was 37, and I just realized, like I said, I was staying with my uncle, I was single, I don't have kids. So I said, it's either you're gonna do something with your life or you're just gonna throw it away and you're not gonna do anything. So that was really the motivation that got me to start coming to this school and try to better myself.
And what was it like? Because you say you came from like almost 3 hours away.
Yeah.
What was it like the first few months here? Like, what mentally, like, how were you doing?
Mentally, it was a grind, man, because I wasn't used to having that long of a travel and having to come to school and having to go to work and coming back and trying to get rest, because I was getting maybe like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, but I was still, in that same repetition and just keep going. And as long as I was in that balance of continuing to keep going and knowing like I keep saying, what the bigger picture is. And the bigger picture is being happy in your career. And that's what I wanted to strive for. So that was probably the biggest motivation for me.
Okay. And then, so moving on from that, right? So Fred, what was it like for you growing up in Chicago? Did you grow up in Chicago?
Oh yeah, South Side, man.
South
Roasting
Side.
area. Oh yeah, wild hunters, man. Trust me, they are wild. Yes, that's no joke.
I always tell people, I don't trust streets that got numbers on it.
I see you on North Side of there.
Yeah, North Side for sure. No, I went to the South Side here and there, like South Cicero and all that. I'm also on the West Side, like Austin and all that.
Yeah. I've been out west a couple times.
I just don't go to the East Side.
Oh no, dude, I lived on the East Side. You don't want to go on the East Side. Stay away from over there. And for people out there is an East Side to Chicago. There is an East Side. People don't think that it is.
Yeah, no.
They think that's because it's the lake, but no, it is the East Side.
That's the East Side. That's a no talk.
No, you don't want to be over there. I used to live over there, right on 80th and Kingston.
Oof.
Man,
so
rough.
What was it like growing up, and especially like in those times in South Side Chicago? What was your journey there?
You know what? Growing up, it wasn't bad. I had friends. My god brother lived across the street. My godmama lived across the street. I went to school like 2 blocks away.
Nice.
And so it was really just a normal childhood. I remember we moved to Detroit when I was 5. Yeah, we moved to Detroit when I was 5. And that was really hectic because we lived in 2 different houses there. The second house we lived in, we heard gunshots every single night. I remember one night the gunshots woke me up and I looked down and my mom was actually at the bottom of my bed trying to hide from the bullets. Wow. And I didn't, being 5, I didn't realize what was happening and what she was doing. But as I get older and I can look back, I'm like, oh yeah, we was really living in the war zone. We was really like trapped in a really bad place. Right. And so my mom luckily got us out of there, moved us back to Chicago, and we moved back with my grandparents. But the growing up was just normal, and being with friends and playing basketball, football, baseball, riding my bike, going up to McDonald's. So it was just a normal childhood, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
and I think that's a blessing, actually.
Oh no, it is, because a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. Other than the fact that, like, a lot of people that I talked to so far, when I ever bring up like the Chicago, like growing up in Chicago, like, oh, this happened. There was always gun violence.
Yeah, and I grew up with that too. But you know what? I always had a good system with my grandparents, and they always kept me close. They didn't let me fight, because I'm one of the youngest in my family. Even being 38, I'm still one of the youngest in my family. I'm the baby grandson in the family. Right. So I still hold that. Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows I'm spoiled. So I hold that deep into my heart, knowing that I'm the youngest grandchild. So all of my cousins are like 20, 30 years older than me. So they already did their dirt before I came along. So my grandparents was like, no, we're not gonna let this one stray away. We're gonna keep him close to us. So they made sure I did my schoolwork. They made sure I did my chores around the house. They made sure I did everything that I was supposed to do before they, let me go out into the world. And so I appreciate them for that. Even though when I was a kid, I didn't understand. And I'm like, why won't you let me go out? Why won't you let me go over to my friend's house? Why won't you let me, go here with my friends? But I see now that they was just protecting me. And they just wanted to make sure I wasn't harmed. And I see just how dangerous it was back then. And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy they did that, because ain't no telling what would have happened if I was hanging out with people.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you're good. No, that's wow. For me, I truly can sense that, or I can relate to that, because like I never was out there either. I was always like, Mom, and I always get mad at my mom, like, Mom, why didn't you let me get out?
Yeah, like, I never understood that.
I'm grown.
Right, like let me go out. It's just a couple blocks down the street.
I'm grown.
Yeah, you know more than her.
Exactly. So and then when you're being a teenager, did it still left that? Like, did you still do whatever you wanted to do as a teenager, or was it just at a certain age that you kept you like that until you got 18?
No, but as I got older and my mom started seeing how responsible I was, she started giving me more responsibility. So she wasn't as harsh on me the older I got. Like, she would let me leave me at the house when I was like 13. So I was cool by that time. So after around 13, the change was pretty much off of me. But it wasn't like I went out into the streets buck wild or anything. You know, I still stayed reserved. I still knew what I had to do. I still knew the responsibilities. I still knew lock the door. She always said if she left the house, if someone come over, don't let anybody in the house. Never let anybody in the house. So with her knowing that I was responsible and knew what I was doing, then she started just like letting the hands go and just letting me just explore the world more.
And then what age did you move out?
I didn't move out of her house until I was 25, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was a little older.
Was it a girl? Was it the house? Or was it just like it was time?
No, it was just time, man. I just realized, like, you know what? It's time for me to get out and get my own stuff. I'm in my mid-20s. I'm almost 30, so I can't be 30 years old living with my mama because girls don't like that.
Yeah, girls.
they don't really like that. Speaking girls in the house at 30, that ain't really a good look.
Freddie love.
Hey, baby.
So, from seeing girls into the house, what was like, man, when you got out, what was that like mentally for you? Like, bring us back to your first apartment. Was it the first apartment?
Yeah, it was the apartment. I actually got my first apartment in Hammond, Indiana.
Oh, wow. And then until you moved to Indiana then?
Yeah, because we was living in Lansing at the time, and then I made the move over to Hammond. I really did that just because the rent was way cheaper. Yeah. So that's the reason why I got the apartment out there. But Hammond isn't as good of a place as people may think it is. It's really like a baby Chicago. Really? Well, I call it like a baby Geary.
I always call Indiana the redneck Chicago.
It is redneck Chicago, especially Northwest Indiana.
Northwest, yeah.
It's definitely redneck Chicago.
So for people that are watching, what are some things that what sort of advice would you pass on for people that are watching? Especially when it comes to like, because a lot of people I feel like suffer with the whole like, I need to change my life, but this is holding me back. But this child might be holding me back, or this might be holding me back. Like, what would be your advice for people that feel like that? Like they feel like they're kind of like stuck behind because they want to do their dream, they want to go to school, but they're just stuck.
I would say you have to find a passion. Once you find a passion, that's going to drive you to want that passion. So whatever that passion is, whether you're a writer, whether you do art, whether you do music, whether you want to act, just follow that passion, and that's going to get you out of whatever that is that's holding you back. Because the only thing holding you back is yourself. Right. And so you need that, but you need a motivation to go after it. Just like my motivation for losing weight was, I don't want to be 400 pounds. My motivation for coming to the school was, I don't want to be at a deadbeat job for the rest of my life. So you got to find a passion that you want to drive to and make sure that that's the passion you're going to go after. So like I said, no matter what it is.
And how long did it, back to my first question, how long did it take you to get that weight loss? I mean, that must have been a journey itself. Right?
Yeah, it took a while, man. It took because it kind of came in parts, because originally I lost about 60 pounds, and then it just started like slowly losing. So, but eventually I did get down to, I'm at like 205 right now from 355. And so it was just a slow, long journey of just continuing to just lose the weight and knowing that I don't want to be big anymore. Because when you're big, that's not fun. You can't move around, you can't run, you got health problems. And that was another thing for me. I don't want to have diabetes when I'm young. I don't want to have heart failure when I'm young. I don't want my organs to collapse when I'm young because I'm big and I'm fat and I just keep eating it. And I know that food is the only thing that I'm going after. And I really think food for me growing up was a coping mechanism, because I was kind of a shy kid and I just started kind of like shied away from people, and I didn't want people to see my face and don't want people to see me around. So I just kind of started eating to cope with that. And when I realized that was my whole reason for eating, that's when I just stopped. And I said, no, I'm just going to eat when I'm hungry. I'm not just going to eat just all day. I'm not going to eat a meal and then turn around and eat another meal. You know what I mean? So that doesn't make sense. I just had to eat once and that's it. Just cool off and I'll be good. And once I started doing that, that's when I started seeing the change.
Yeah, because like me, like I get comfortable too with food. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't eat when I want to eat.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just like that as a kid too.
like it's just like, I see that brownie, I'm like, man, you know what I mean? I just ate another.
I just had the brownie. Like, should I eat another one?
That wasn't bad. But no, I admire that, because it does take, like for me, I feel like it does take like this mental like strength to be like, yo, I need to lose this weight. I need to
Yeah,
lose weight.
and it's all mental.
Yeah,
It's all mental. It's got to drive you.
It has to be mental because it's like you can go to the gym and all that, but if you don't feel like motivated or you don't feel like this is worth your time, it's almost like there's no point.
No, it ain't.
There's no point, and you're just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna be like this. I'm gonna be like that. And I think that's very admirable of Fred because I feel like you had these stages in your life when you're just always pushing through, always going through it. And speak about like being shy, because that's something that I didn't strike me as like you being shy.
Yeah, man, I was a shy kid growing up.
Was that on purpose, or was that something that you just like something that you saw back then? Where it's just like, you know what, I rather not speak to people. Was that by choice, or was it that like it was just in you?
I think it was just in me, but it's weird because, like I said, when I was a kid, I was always that driving force. I was always the one pushing everybody. I was always the one getting people to do your work. I was always getting people to do their job and all of that. So when I look back and I see myself as a kid, I'm like, I was much more of a leader back then than I am now. Like, I don't even know where the shyness had came from, but I think it really came when I got to high school. And when I started seeing like the older kids, you see the bigger kids, when you were a freshman, you see the seniors, it's like, whoa, like these are like statues. And, and so I think that's kind of where the shyness started coming in. And then, when you hit puberty, your body changes, you start getting more into girls, sports, stuff like that. So I think that's where the shyness really started coming into my life. But I've been trying to get past that. And like I said, at 40 years old, you really shouldn't be shy anymore. You should be over that.
Yeah. And now that you're reaching like your 40s, like what are you excited about it?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Is there something, what are you going to take, now being 40 with all this knowledge, you went to school, like what are you going to like do, basically? What are you going to do? My question would be for you would be like, what are you going to do after school? And like, what's one of your like dream jobs?
Well, one of my dream jobs is radio. But like I said, radio is kind of being phased out now, more for podcasts. So if I could, transition to like being a podcaster, and I'm trying to get my YouTube channel off the ground for music reaction videos and my podcast and some other cool stuff that I have in my mind that I do want to do for content. So that's really what I want to do, professionally for the rest of my life. Because right now I'm working at the airport at O'Hare, and it's not really a fun job, just lifting up everybody's bags and putting them on the belt.
Yeah, I saw a few students that told me about O'Hare.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple people here that works at O'Hare. Shout out to my girl, Amanda.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Shout out, Amanda. No, I think for me, like, hearing everyone's stories, everyone that comes through always gets me inspired to, like, go get your dream, go rush more. Because here's the thing about these shows that I love, is that you get to sense that, there could be a change. There can be hope. There can be a certain light bulb that might be turned on after this, right? Because especially when, like, you went through this journey, you went through this whole weight loss, that you went through this whole mental struggle where, like, you know what, I'm almost 40, I gotta get to school. I think for people like that, always keeping their minds fresh, especially like the older generation, because I feel like once you get to a certain age, for the previous generation, for mine, once you get to a certain age, it's like, we're done.
Yeah.
It's like, it's done, I'm cool, got my family, got everything, but it's like, me, I feel like once you stop or once you get comfortable, there's no growing from there.
No.
You're just an over covered seed.
And I've always been told that you're never too old to start something new.
Yeah.
And that's very true, because I found that when I was 37 and I came to the school, I'm like, I didn't know how to make a multi-track. I didn't know how to edit a video off of Premiere or anything. But, a year later, now I know. Now I know how to do all of that. I know how to use the camera now. Before, I didn't know how to use the camera. So you're never too old to learn something new. And as long as you keep that in your mind, it's never gonna stop you. Like, there's 80-year-olds going to college right now. Yeah. You can't tell them that they're too old.
I know there's a few, I remember when I first came up here, there's a few like in their 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
Like, damn. Like, I guess it's never too late. I guess because when you see it from like my perspective, it's like, I think this is a young man's game, but then I'm like, I can't think like that. I don't think that
and if you look at most podcasters, most of them are in their 40s, 50s, close to 60 now. Joe Rogan is almost 60 now. He's the number one podcaster.
He's the number one podcaster. Yeah, and I think, and that to me, I think you have such a more advantage being at a certain age because you lived such a good life, or you lived such a long life that you have conversations on top of conversations to have.
Yeah.
You have wisdom on top of wisdom to share. You have so many stories to be shared. And I think you of all people should do a podcast. I always tell people, like, especially you. I think you'd be a great podcaster. I think having people on your show, having great guests and all that. I think you amount to something if you did podcasting a little bit.
Yeah, and a lot of people have told me that. They said you're so knowledgeable, you got a good voice for it, you got a great name for it. So they said people are gonna attract to you just hearing the name Freddie Love. Like people are gonna know. We want to know what is this guy talking about.
I know. When I saw, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, Freddie Love. That's ain't no way. That's a real name.
Yeah. People don't even think, dude. I went through that so many times. When I tell people my name is Fred Love, people are like, no, it's not. That's not your real name.
It sounds like a whole TV show. I'm like Freddie Love.
Like it sounds like a character name.
Have you thought about that? Like you're a character now, because like everyone's calling you like Freddie Love.
I'm trying to develop that character now for the podcast, so I can be that Freddie Love. Well, I'm still gonna be myself, but I'm still gonna be Freddie Love on the podcast.
I think that's great.
All my music reaction videos, all of that.
I think that's great. You just call yourself Freddie Love. That's a great name, by the way.
Everyone keeps telling me,
that's
man.
a great name. Who named you? Was your father or your mother?
No, that was actually my father's name.
Really?
Yeah, my father's name was Freddie Love too, and he actually played 5 years in the NFL. I was telling Esteban that yesterday. Yeah, I don't tell too many people about that, but yeah, he played 5 years in the NFL.
And were you like, how old were you at the time?
No, that was before I was born.
Before, right?
Yeah, because he played in the mid-70s.
Oh.
Like around 70.
What team did you play for?
3 years with the LA Rams, 2 years with the New England Patriots.
Oh yeah, he was going somewhere.
Yeah, he was a linebacker.
Man.
Yeah, he played football his whole life. I remember going to my grandma's house in Ohio because he stayed in Dayton, Ohio, and I would go over to my grandma's house up there. I would go in the basement, see all of his trophy awards. And I also had an uncle who played basketball. He didn't make it to the NBA, but he played overseas.
Oh,
and so I would go down to see all of the accolades and trophies and certificates and pictures, and I'm like, wow, like, my father was actually something back in the day. And I would hear stories from his friends. And I remember one story one of his friends told me. He actually told it at my father's funeral because he passed away back in '99. But he said he was playing football in high school and he got ejected from the game because he had, something happened and he got ejected from the game. So he went to the locker room and there was a guy on his team that wasn't playing. So he went and put his jersey on and went back out on the field. And he said when he went back out on the field, the other team's quarterback looked up and saw my father and he saw the eyes and he knew who it was and he was like, oh no. He said the quarterback had to step away and was like, no. That guy got ejected. This isn't that guy whose jersey he got on.
Hey, it was the 50s like that too.
Yeah. It was the same thing was happening, man. Nah.
They were like, he got it.
Yeah. So that was like one of the best stories I heard about my father.
Oh God. So your father passed away when you were pretty young. Then.
Yeah, I was 12.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And what was your earliest memory of your father?
You know what? My earliest memory, I was running around my grandfather's house, and that was back when they had those old TVs that used to sit on the floor. I don't even know if you've seen those
like
before.
The box ones?
Yeah, big box TVs.
Yeah.
And so I think I was 3. I was running through my grandfather's house. I tripped on somebody's foot and I landed on the TV and busted my head. And if you see in the corner of my I think my eyebrow here is like kind of off.
Oh, okay.
From that, yeah. So I had I cracked that side of my head, had to go to the hospital to get stitches. And I remember when I got the stitches, my father was there and I just was in his lap, holding him, for the rest of the night. And that's like the earliest memory I remember of my father.
Wow. And so now that you're like at a certain age, do you look back and be like, you know what, when I have my kids on my own, I think you're gonna like resemble most of your father? Like,
oh yeah.
For you?
Yeah, because everybody keeps telling me I resemble my father, and they say I act like my father. So, he was like a playful type of guy. So, I still have that inside of me.
Right.
And yeah, I think if I do have kids, I'm still gonna resemble that for my father.
That's good.
Good. I always think about passing on the lineage.
You have to, and I think that's for me too. Because I always feel like when you have a family with such history, you have to continue that.
You have to.
You have
And then
to
knowing where
continue.
my grandparents came from in the deep South, and they was born in the
Yeah.
20s, so you know how things was in the South in the 20s. Like they
Yeah.
grew up with no electricity, no indoor
No water,
plumbing. Like
nothing.
they had to go and get their own food. Like my grandmother's father was actually a butcher down south, so he would like kill hogs and cows and all type of animals, and so they would eat that, all day. They would have that on their farm. So, coming from that and knowing like what my grandparents' struggles was, I'm like, well, if they can get past that, I can get through whatever struggles I have, because my struggles ain't nearly anything compared to theirs.
I appreciate that, man, and I think that's
Oh,
one.
for
I
sure,
think that's
bro.
beautiful. I think that honestly, to me, I think that's beautiful to know that like your family came from this part of life, and you're like, you know what, I have to be different.
Yeah.
I have to be something completely different, because that's how I feel. Like I feel like my family comes from a part of this kind of curse that kind of flows around with us, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like I got to stop that curse, continue on the family legacy, and then continue on having my dad's last name.
Yeah.
Still run through. Because like right now, I think I'm the one of two that's planning to have kids. One of two, one of three.
So you don't have kids yet?
Yeah, I don't have kids yet.
Okay. All right. No. I just wanted to know.
You thought I had kids?
Yeah, I thought I had. No, I saw your Facebook picture with
God.
the. No, I saw your Facebook picture with
Oh,
the
no,
little
that's
kid
my
on
brother,
there.
my little brother.
Oh, okay.
So,
At
you know
least
what? I got a
now.
lot of people coming at me like that. They were like, "Is that your son?" Like,
Yeah,
how long
because
you
when I
been?
saw the
I'm
picture,
like, bro,
when I saw the picture, I was like, oh, that must be Alice's son, because I know you're married, so I was like, oh, I thought that was Alice's son. now I know that's your brother. My fault. I apologize.
Shout out my little bro.
Shout out to Alice's brother, man.
Shout out to little bro. Nah, man. I think just like but like I feel like for me, it's like you have to continue the family. I think especially when you're born into the system of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like there's some. And what I mean by that is like people like there's some siblings of mine or some cousins of mine that like they didn't love the system as much. They wasn't into it. They had their own little system. They had their own friends, but it wasn't around the family as much as I was around my family.
And that was kind of how my cousins was before me. They was all around they friends and they wanted to do it with their girlfriends. They didn't really mess with the family until they got older and had their own family.
Exactly.
Now they want to come back into the family, integrate themselves into the family,
They
be like, hey, I'm seeing your cousin.
Oh my God. No, exactly. I feel like family is so weird when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, I love my family. I love this conversation. I love you, man.
I love you too, Alex, man. You done helped me
great
so much since I've been here, man. Since I've been knowing you, you done helped me so much, man. With the
appreciate
cameras, with the video. Like, I didn't know how to put a tripod together before you came along, man. Like, you done helped me out so much.
Nah, I appreciate it. And you guys help me out too. I think, like I said, every guest that's come on here give me some type of motivation to either be greater or be better or just do something specifically. I remember Joshua was the one that actually got me into more basketball after our show, because I'm like, I used to play basketball. I used to be in the NBA, like especially like in the 2010s, like when Stephen Curry versus LeBron was happening.
Oh, that was the decade of LeBron, man.
I was in the NBA.
As much as I don't like LeBron, but that's just because I'm a Jordan fan. I grew up watching Jordan, but as much as I don't like LeBron, the 2010s did belong to LeBron. I give him that.
Yeah, you know what's funny for me? Like I think people love to hate on LeBron, but here's my thing. I feel like once you're the GOAT of something, it's hard to make an argument about someone else being the GOAT of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, his franchise of the NBA. Like, you can't say someone's better than Tom Brady, because there will never be another Tom Brady.
No.
There could never be another Babe Ruth, because there will never be another Babe Ruth. There will never be, you know what I mean? Like, there's never going to be another athlete like that type of athlete.
You know what? You don't even have to keep it in sports. You can do that with almost anything, like in music. Yeah. Like, do you think, is anybody going to be bigger than Michael Jackson? No. I don't think so. No. And I hear that now. People say Taylor Swift bigger than Michael Jackson. Beyonce bigger than Michael Jackson. I'm like, you guys never saw Michael Jackson. Like, he was the king.
I saw old tapes. Those women used to faint.
Dude, he would come out on stage and people would faint. Like, I don't see that with Chris Brown or Beyonce or Taylor Swift.
They got that the photo shoot. You know, the celebrity photo shoot. That's all they got.
That's all they got, man.
No, it's just, and that's my take on that. I feel like once you're something, that's it. Like, no one can take that away from you, and that's greatness.
Yeah, of course.
I think everyone here is in the strive for that, is to be great, to be that Michael Jackson, to be the Michael Jordan of media, to be the Michael Jackson or whatever.
Yeah, and to kick back to LeBron, like I don't blame him for coming up to Michael's, status because he has the genetics for it. Like, look at him. He's 6'8", 260 pounds, can dribble like a guard, can shoot, can drive to the hole. So I give LeBron his credit and his accolades and all the things he's accomplished. I just can't put him over Jordan. I'm sorry, because I've seen Jordan play in real time, and I just can't put him
Jesus.
over.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, of course, man. Everybody call him Black Jesus, man.
And even for me, like when it comes to comedy, I think no one's gonna be better than Marvin. No, not Marvin. Freaking what's his name?
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor. No one's gonna be better than Richard Pryor or Bernie Mac.
No, dude, Bernie. Funny
Bernie
you bring
Mac.
those names up because last night at work when I got off, I was actually looking at some old Richard Pryor stand-up clips.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Dude, that man was hilarious. It tested. You know what? That's how you know you're great, when your jokes don't age.
No.
And they don't age poorly.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, for me, my favorite comedian of all time was Bernie Mac, because he can curse and make it sound funny.
Mm-hmm.
He curses at anything. He'll make anything funny.
He'll make anything funny, dude. And my personal favorite comedian is George Carlin. I don't know if you know
George
him.
Carlin.
Yeah, I love George Carlin. I just love the mind he had because he thought about things that you don't hear other comedians talk about. Mm-hmm. And he was more kind of a teacher because when he would say something, you would laugh, but then you would be like, you know what? He actually made sense.
That's what I get from Joey Diaz.
Yeah, I love Joey Diaz.
Man. I love him because that's what I get, exactly what I get from him. He's funny. You can learn a lot from him.
Oh, you can learn a lot. His stories are incredible, man.
And then I remember the one about him tripping on acid and about
I heard about that.
That one was crazy, man.
Nah, shout out to Joey Diaz. Man. He's hilarious.
But thank you guys for watching. This is about time to end of the show. But thank you guys for all watching. Thank you for listening into our conversation. Thank you guys for being a part of our friend group here, and every guest that come around here. That's the point of this, is make sure that you feel like there's someone in the room talking with you, having a great time, feeling like there's a friend group around you. But thank you guys for watching. Anything you want to say, Freddie Love, real quick?
I just want everybody to follow your dreams, whatever you want, and be safe out here, man. It's rough.
What's your advice on mental health?
Mental health, just stay strong. You got to think bigger than whatever's stopping you. You have to get over that block. It's just a mental block. You have to step over that hurdle, and whatever it is that's pinning you down, you're going to get over it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in episode 3, starting tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Bye. Peace.